All right, good morning. 7:13 is the time under very clear and sunny skies. Good Wednesday morning, hump day, or if you're a Donald Trump fan, maybe it's Trump Day now that he has announced his presidency last night. Either way, we're glad to have you with us this morning, and it is going to be a swell day today. Hope you'll stick around with us. The webcam is on, and our very next guest in studio on KGAB Mornings is
Mr. District Attorney, champion of the people, defender of truth, guardian of our fundamental rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That's right, Mr. District Attorney Jeremiah Sandburg. Sir, welcome to the program today.
Good morning.
Glad to have you with us. How's that for an intro? You love that intro, don't you?
That gets me every time.
Doesn't it? Now, a lot of the young millennials and maybe even some Gen Xers probably have no idea what in the world that was. Well, that was an old-time radio program, and actually the theme song that we used would have been The Case of the Deadly Snowflake. So at any rate,
I did not know that.
Well, now you do. So at any rate, glad to have you here. For those of you that are new to the area, Jeremiah Sandburg was elected as district attorney for Laramie County last election cycle, and you're about 6 months in, I do believe. And so
getting close.
Yeah, you are. And things are really up and running there, aren't they?
Well, things are really coming together. We feel like we've got our legs underneath of us now. We're back into the habit of doing jury trials. We sort of had a little bit of a hiatus there at the beginning because we didn't know what the cases were. You're trying to learn all the cases, try to get up to speed on everything. But we are now, this marks the 6th week in a row that we've been in jury trials in office at the felony level. The press, of course, covers the big sexy ones. We had one here, probably people remember, is the State versus Zimmerman. That was about 2 weeks ago. We got that guilty verdict for what was a second-degree murder case. Real proud of the staff for coming together on that. Miss Manlove did a great job trying that case, and so, but those are the types that get coverage. We've had some before then, some after then. Like I said, we've been in jury trial now for 6 weeks. We're in jury trial today. If people get interested, they can come down to the courthouse and watch a district attorney's office in action within jury trial. So
let me ask you this, because I've dealt with some people that had felony charges in the Laramie County Detention Center down here. And do they get to choose if they want a jury or not? I mean, how does that work? Because some people said,
Absolutely.
Man, I should have requested a jury for this case.
Absolutely. And this is true for all cases of a criminal nature that have the potential for jail time, whether it's a misdemeanor or a felony. Doesn't matter. Constitutional rights, something that the founders laid out for us, absolutely, and something that the founders of this state put into the state constitution as well, is you have a trial by jury for any criminal charge that has the possibility of jail time. So the different options, trial by jury or trial by the court, or some sort of plea agreement, and trial is one of the things that makes our system here in the States, and as an English system, somewhat unique around the country. You go to other countries, France, for instance, and you have trial by judge. It's professional judges that try the case for you. You don't have the right for a jury. So it's really an important right here in the United States, and something that we as citizens, it's probably the most active role that we can take in our government. Most people don't think about the fact that when you go in for jury service, you're actually becoming a member of the third branch of government for a day or a week.
Right.
And without our citizen jurors, our system wouldn't work. And it's, many bad things you can say about our system. It's still the best damn system in the world.
That's right.
I probably shouldn't have said down there.
Yeah, this is a rated G,
right.
Show. No, I hear you though. But, because some people have regretted and wish they would have gone before their peers.
Sure.
Because there is a little bit of and I don't necessarily expect you to comment on it, but there is a little bit of a thought process around here that there is a little bit of a network working. This attorney is married to this guy who's a judge, who's his brother-in-law. And when they get in the courtroom, I think some of these folks that are tried, because obviously they're being tried, not everybody's guilty, not everybody's found guilty. Okay.
Correct.
There are a lot of people that are found guilty. They feel like it's a little bit of an injustice, or that they were misrepresented by an attorney, especially if they're issued one, that they just kind of want to get through it. They know this guy, they put on a good show in the courtroom and then move on. When you have a jury of 12 folks or whatever it is, at least you've got a shot at them hearing the case and helping them arrive with the verdict. Now, let me ask you the difference between the two. If the jury comes to a verdict and says, we find this man not guilty, does the judge have to go with that verdict, or can he overthrow that?
No. No, in fact, it works in the reverse. There are instances where a jury might come back with a verdict of guilty, and the judge will say, you know what, I don't think it was guilty. I don't think the state did their job. I'm going to do what is called a directed verdict, which is to say that I'm going to step into the role of jury and find this person not guilty. And just to be clear, that when we say somebody's not guilty, we're not saying they're innocent. We're just saying the state didn't prove their case.
Right. All right. We're talking with Mr. District Attorney Jeremiah Sandburg. If you have a question for him, we'd love to entertain that this morning at 632-6500, 632-3323. My name is Gary Freeman. More to come straight away. Good morning.
Take pride in your work. Always finish what you start. Be tough, be fair. When you make a promise, keep it. Live each day with courage. The code of the West is the code of Jonah Bank. Wyoming values, Wyoming ethics, Wyoming people. Visit Jonah Bank today for all of your mortgage needs. At Jonah Bank, clients come first. Not when it's convenient, not when they feel like it, but always.
Jonah Bank of Wyoming, building a better Wyoming. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is a referral service. Calls will be routed to an independent referral insurance agency. Do you know the number one cause of bankruptcy? No, it's not losing your job or running up credit card debt. It's not even divorce. It's medical costs. If you and your family don't have health insurance, just one serious illness or accident could be financially devastating. But now there's good news, really good news. A health insurance hotline has been established to provide health insurance for all Americans, even uninsured Americans with pre-existing conditions. Now anyone can get health insurance even if you have a pre-existing medical condition. I repeat, now anyone can get health insurance coverage. Call now for a free no-obligation quote on affordable health plans available to you. Again, this is a free hotline for anyone, even if you have pre-existing conditions. Protect you and your family from sudden unexpected medical costs. Call the free health insurance hotline right now at 1-800-838-8963. That's 1-800-838-8963. Call 1-800-838-8963.
Back to KGAB Mornings with Gary Freeman on AM 650 KGAB.
And good morning. Welcome to Wednesday, hump day, 52 current temperature right now. Sunny skies, maybe some PM thunder showers a little bit later on. My name is Gary Freeman. This is KGAB Mornings. Glad to have you with us. We are in studio with Mr. District Attorney Jeremiah Sandburg. If you have a question for him, feel free to give us a call at 632-6500 or 632-3323. Mr. Sandburg, welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
We have been talking about juries today, and we were talking a little bit before the break about some people that have gone to trial, wish they would have requested a jury because they didn't feel that they were properly represented, and then a sentence came down. But here's something else that I know Dr. Taylor Haynes talked about when he was running for governor, and others, I think, have tried to pursue it, and that is a grand jury. Tell us a little bit about that, and how realistic would it be for us to come up with one in Laramie County? Well,
interestingly enough, the Wyoming rules and statutes allow for grand juries in the state of Wyoming. A lot of states, in fact, if you want to bring felony charges, you have to do it through a grand jury. And that includes in the federal system. So when you hear that somebody's been charged in the federal system, they've been indicted by a grand jury. And so you use grand juries for indictments. And the difference between a grand jury indictment and how we might do it otherwise is that, let me first of all describe the system we use primarily here in the state of Wyoming, and that is that the law enforcement will go out and investigate a case. They will make an arrest potentially, or if it's a case that doesn't need an immediate arrest and there's not an immediate threat to the community, they'll take their time to investigate it further, and then they will bring over what we call an affidavit of probable cause, and that will be a relatively brief narrative of all the facts that they believe supports a case to be brought, and then they'll bring it to the district attorney's office. And most people don't realize it's actually the district attorney's office here in the state that brings felony charges. So when you see law enforcement said that we arrested somebody for some felony charge, they may arrest them, but they're not the ones that make the determination of what charges are or aren't brought. That's the district attorney, or any other smaller counties, it's the county attorney that makes those charging decisions. And so you do it by what is called information then. You have an affidavit of information. You take that to the circuit court, and one of the circuit court judges or circuit court magistrate will sign for a warrant or summons to bring that person in before the circuit court. And then at that stage, once they're brought in, a bond of some sort will be set, maybe even be an OR bond, meaning that you're not a big threat to the community or a risk of flight. And then either, depending on if you're in custody or out of custody, you either have 10 days or 20 days to have what we call a preliminary hearing, which is where the circuit court judge or magistrate then will hold a hearing to determine probable cause, whether there's enough probable cause to believe that this person did this crime and that it should be bound over then to the district court. What the grand jury does is take the place of that preliminary hearing. So rather than have a single circuit court judge or magistrate hear the case, you will have what we call the grand jury seated, and they will hear all the information as to whether or not this person did this crime and it should be bound over to the district court. And with the grand jury, then you can actually have them come in and hear this information prior to the issuing an arrest and prior to just taking it up to the district court. So there are some advantages to it, such as if you say have potentially 30 individuals involved in some sort of criminal activity, you want to bring charges against them all at once to get them all bound over to the district court at once and potentially set a bunch of them for trial all together at once, because the cases are so interlinked that you'd be able to try them together anyway. You might want to do that through a grand jury because it's a quicker process, it's a cleaner process, and there are certain advantages to it. You can sort of test your case with members of the public prior to actually go after them.
And is there a judge present during this, or is it just the grand jury?
It's just the grand jury. Now, the judge does give them instructions prior to their being set up. And the way the grand jury sort of works then is once you call a grand jury, they can sit for up to a year hearing all sorts of different cases. So if you can imagine jury service where you have to come in for a year, potentially every week or two to hear this case, that case, the next case. The advantage of having a long-term sitting grand jury like that, and again, this is the way the feds do it, is that for the first case or two, the jury is still trying to figure out sort of how this works. By halfway through or towards the end, they got an idea how this is supposed to work, and they're very efficient at sorting through these charges and giving you sort of the community's perspective of whether or not this case should be brought or not.
All right, very good. We're talking with District Attorney of Laramie County, Jeremiah Sandburg, talking about grand juries this morning, the pros and cons of it. We'll talk more straight ahead.
B&B Appliance and TV has been your hometown Frigidaire appliance and service store for 46 years. When you purchase a Frigidaire appliance from B&B, you're getting their local service department as well as a great price. Their factory-trained service technicians live and work here. And with their huge parts department, they can provide faster solutions to your repair issues. See the full lineup of Frigidaire Gallery appliances at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue.
What's the worst time to think about your auto insurance? The day you need it. Of course, then it's too late, especially if you don't have the right coverage. AAA can help. Our agents take the time to help you figure out the coverage you need to be protected. That's insurance the AAA way. So talk to your local AAA agent or visit us online at AAA.com/trust and learn what auto insurance is like the AAA way.
The Wind River Casino is already your party destination. And now, with its own hotel, it's your daycation getaway. The Wind River Hotel and Casino, featuring 87 modern, beautifully appointed rooms and 3 luxurious suites. It's the perfect weekend trip, or just for a day. Enjoy Wyoming's best casino action and fine dining in the Red Willow Restaurant. So if time is short, make your next vacation a daycation at the Wind River Hotel and Casino.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's July 4th weekend live from Daytona. It's about rockets, red glare, white knuckles, and blue steel. Love taps, braving paint, and taking flags. It's friends, family, and a whole lot of faith. America, start your engines. NASCAR is back on NBC. The Coke 0400 Sunday, July 5th on NBC. Coverage begins July 4th on NBCSN.
Day weather at the top and bottom of each hour on AM 650 KGAB.
All right, 7:28 is the time. Glad to have you here with us. 55 and clear skies. It's wide open this morning here in the capital city. Glad to have you with us. The phone number this morning, 632-6500, 632-3323. And baseball fans, here's your chance to get away this summer and enjoy a doubleheader in the Windy City. If you win, this is what we're going to do. We're going to fly you to Chicago in August and send you to the Cubs and Giants at Wrigley Field and the White Sox-Angels game as well. Plus, the trip includes airfare, hotel, and what would be taking a trip to the ball game without buying peanuts and Cracker Jacks, right? Well, $300 in the pocket as well. You can sign up to win online at KGAB.com, and let's play too. I'll tell you what, you want to make some great memories with your son or your daughter or your wife or your hubby or an aunt or uncle, go out there and try to win this thing at KGAB.com. And, even if you don't like the Cubs and the Giants or the White Sox, hey, taking in a baseball game is a great way to do that. A little bit of a getaway, pretty well all paid. So that's something that we want to be able to do for you at KGAB and KGAB.com. Coming up on the bottom of the hour news, plus we'll hear from Doug Randall and John Gabrielson with your WYO Prep Sports. More to come. We've also got Mr. District Attorney Jeremiah Sandburg in with us, and we are talking about grand juries. We're talking about juries, how the courtroom works, and we may be even getting into common law juries and whatnot. So we'll find out what's going on with that with Jeremiah Sandburg. Of course, we'll also take some more of your phone calls here at 632-6500, 632-3323. My name is Gary Freeman. This is KGAB Mornings, getting you down the road on your morning. Glad you could be with us. Good morning.
AM 650 KGAB. Up to the minute news.
From the KGAB News Center, I'm Doug Randall. Cheyenne community stakeholders have come together to launch the Your Summer, Your Choices media campaign. Joy Greenwald reports.
The campaign was created to highlight the dangers of underage drinking during Cheyenne Frontier Days. CFD General Chairman Darren Westby says they don't condone underage drinking, nor do they tolerate their customers supplying to underage individuals.
We train our staffs and all of our staff, as well as all of our volunteers, to ensure that they can try to pick out those that are underage and ensure that we can card officially, as well as pick out any fake IDs as well.
Cheyenne police issued 33 underage drinking tickets during CFD last year, up from 15 citations in 2013. Reporting from Cheyenne, I'm Joy Greenwald.
Cheyenne Mayor Rick Kaysen says he's still reviewing what to do about some proposed bike lanes that have been put on hold due to concerns about people losing parking on some city streets. But he adds there are some positives to the general idea of bike lanes. He notes some Colorado communities have tried to encourage bicycle use.
We've had that same interest here in Cheyenne as far as, again, an alternate form of transportation, meaning bicycles, that would be having a designated lane. We tried it out on Yellowstone if you'll from central going north, but again, there's a wide, expansive street right there.
He says installing bike lanes is more of a challenge on some of the city's narrower streets. The Wyoming Game and Fish Department is reminding boaters that if they want to get out on the water for the July 4th holiday weekend, they should register their boats before July 3rd. The holiday weekend is traditionally the busiest boating time of the year. All Game and Fish Department offices will be closed on Friday, July 3rd. Most registrations can be done online, but new boats must be registered at Game and Fish regional offices or at the headquarters in Cheyenne. More news on demand at KGAB.com.
All right, thanks a lot, Doug. 7:33, your time. Clear skies. Let's turn it over to John Gabrielson with your WYO Prep Sports.
Welcome to the WyoPreps.com radio report for a Wednesday. I'm Kevin Coyle. Cowboys and cowgirls on the Wyoming High School Rodeo Circuit claimed their championship belt buckles this past weekend at the State Finals Rodeo in Douglas. Carson Bradley of Big Piney won the barrel racing state champ and was the runner-up in the cowgirl all-around competition. As far as this season goes, she says things went pretty well, even though she had to undergo a change in plans partway through.
It was pretty good in the fall, and then my good pole horse, she got hurt, so I was using someone else's horse most of the spring season, so it kind of set me back for the poles, but I managed to have a pretty good spring with the horse I was using and still got second.
Bradley was the state runner-up in pole bending. She also won the Rookie All-Around National Championship at last year's High School National Finals Rodeo. That made her a target at various rodeo events this season, but she says that did not bother her.
I just took it like another rodeo. I just tried staying good so I can compete to the best of my ability all year.
The High School National Finals Rodeo is next month in Rock Springs. I'll be back with more in a moment.
All over America, people are taking the National Radon Test. Have you? Answer true or false. Radon is a radioactive gas. True.
I didn't know that, no.
True or false. The Office of the Surgeon General recommends that all homes be tested for radon. True, your home should be tested. True or false. Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer. True.
I'm going to dial the number and call
777-6015. Protect your family and get your test kits today at wyomingradon.org.
Town Square Media invites all hands on deck for the return of the Great River Raft Race, Saturday, July 11th in Casper. Here's how to join the fun. Gather a crew, appoint a captain, and build a seaworthy vessel. Tickets are $30 per person and include an event t-shirt and a chance to win some great prizes. For a complete list of rules and to register for the Great River Raft Race, go to K2Radio.com. That's K, the number 2radio.com. Sponsored in part by Straight Line Vapors and Surf Wyoming.
In other rodeo news, Brady Thurston of Lance Creek won the boys all-around state championship. He also placed second in saddle bronc riding and steer wrestling. He says competing in multiple events can be challenging at times. The trick is just getting used to it.
It started out kind of rough, wasn't very consistent, and then towards the end, I started placing in everything every weekend, and then the state finals, everything clicked, and I really showed up.
We should be getting the list of qualifiers for next month's High School National Finals Rodeo any day now. The top 4 in each rodeo event are invited to compete. We'll hear from more state champs later this week. This has been your Daily Prep Report. For more on Wyoming high school sports, log on to wyopreps.com.
This is the Wyoming Business Report.
I'm Mike Rohrbeck. The Wyoming Infrastructure Authority has hired Jason Beggar as its new executive director. Wyoming Infrastructure Board members say Beggar's experience in public policy and the private sector will be an asset for the authority. Before joining the Wyoming Infrastructure Authority, Jason served as the government affairs manager for Cloud Peak Energy and its predecessor, Rio Tinto Energy.
All over America, people are taking the National Radon Test. Have you? Answer true or false. Radon is a radioactive gas. True.
I didn't know that, no.
True or false. The Office of the Surgeon General recommends that all homes be tested for radon. True, your home should be tested. True or false. Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer. True.
I'm going to dial the number and call
777-6015. Protect your family and get your test kits today at wyomingradon.org.
It was yet another day of strong thunderstorm activity across the state and region. We did dodge a bullet in Cheyenne as the worst of the weather again stayed just north and east of town. Hail and heavy rain reported up into Platte County. Around Wheatland, hail and heavy rain reported around the Torrington area in Goshen County. Today and for the rest of the week, it is going to get warmer. We still will have thunderstorm chances in the area today. And while there won't be as many thunderstorms, there still could be a few strong ones. Then we warm up even more Thursday and Friday with only isolated thunderstorms.
Hey, Wild Lotto fans, there's a new game in town. They call it Cowboy Draw. With growing jackpots starting at $250,000, better odds, and 2 chances to win per ticket, Cowboy Draw is aiming to deliver more action and more winners to the Cowboy State. Get into a draw at a retailer near you today with the exciting Wild West action of Cowboy Draw, Wyoming's very own lottery game. Lottery is a form of entertainment. Play responsibly. Must be 18 or older to play.
Announcing the 55th annual world-famous Woodchoppers Jamboree and Rodeo in Encampment, Wyoming, June 20th and 21st. Saturday, enjoy a pancake breakfast at the firehouse, then watch the parade. Saturday and Sunday morning, the chips fly as loggers compete for the title of Rocky Mountain Champion Lumberjack. Cowboys and cowgirls then take the arena for a WRA rodeo. Delicious barbecue and 2 melodrama performances in this jam-packed weekend of good times. This is a Wyoming experience for the whole family. Produced in cooperation with the Carbon County Visitors Council.
Partly cloudy and warmer in Cheyenne today. Daytime temperature readings will be up to near 80 degrees. There will be some scattered afternoon and evening thunderstorms. While there won't be as many, the ones that do develop today could still be strong. Lows tonight will drop to the low to mid 50s. Warmer still, low to mid 80s for Thursday and mid to upper 80s Friday under partly cloudy skies with only isolated late day thunderstorms. I'm meteorologist Don Day with more weather on demand at KGAB.com.
Here at Mountain View Regional Hospital, we know that joint and sports injuries are painful. With over 100 years of combined experience, our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons is here to get you better faster, offering convenient access to the latest in surgical and non-invasive care with clinics in Cheyenne. Call 877-266-4700 or online at mvrhospital.com. Mountain View Regional Hospital. We find answers.
Attention smart shoppers. If you're within the sound of my voice, this message is for you. For a limited time, Terrell Doyle Honda is offering truly epic opportunities to save on a new Honda. We're talking about our lowest prices of the year, guaranteed. Right now, every single new Honda in stock at Terrell Doyle Honda is on sale, including the new 2015 Honda Accord Sport with automatic. Yours for an incredible $219 a month. You heard right. A new 2015 Honda Accord Sport with automatic. Named at 10 best by Car and Driver, a record 29 times. Only $219 a month. Or how about a new 2015 Honda Pilot EXL with automatic and 4-wheel drive for only $259 a month. That's a 2015 Honda Pilot EXL, only $259 a month. But you better hurry to Terrell Doyle Honda in Cheyenne, just north of high prices. And online at TerrellDoyleHonda.com. Terrell Doyle Honda. You'll love our brand of dealing. 36-month leases with approved credit. $2,299 due at lease signing on Accord. $3,099 due at lease signing on Pilot. See dealer for details. Offers expire 5/31/2015.
It's where I'll build a swing set for my little girl.
Thanks, Daddy. It's where the most important moments in our life will happen with my family. It's where I'll have my first slumber party.
At RE/MAX Capital Properties, we can make those dreams a reality, turning the house you buy into a home. Dream with your eyes open. Start today at CheyenneHomestore.com or contact us at RE/MAX 635-0303.
It's gotta be Steve Prescott.
And now, more KGAB Mornings with Gary Freeman on AM 650 KGAB.
Hey, good morning. Glad you could be with us on a Wednesday. 7:41 is the time. 58 is the current temperature. Coming up on the top 5 at 7:45. Brought to you this morning by First Education Federal Credit Union right here in Cheyenne. And we'll be discussing 5 unusual Father's Day gifts as you are no doubt getting ready for Father's Day and to buy him a special gift, especially for the guy that's got everything. So at any rate, we are glad to have our Mr. District Attorney from Laramie County here, Jeremiah Sandburg, in studio with us. The phone number, if you have a question for him, is 632-6500, 632-3323. Mr. Sandburg, welcome back to the program. And you'll be celebrating Father's Day.
I will be.
That's right. So happy Father's Day to you. All right. So we've been talking a little bit about grand juries and what it would take to get one incorporated here in Laramie County. and what it entails, pros and cons. And I think you have some things to wrap up on that. And then I wanted to open up another can of box or another can of worms,
Sure.
if we may, concerning another type of grand jury.
So to get a grand jury here in Laramie County, we can, that is to say, the district attorney's office can request one, and then really it's up to the district court whether they would grant us the ability to have one. And so we're talking about what the right set of circumstances would be to request one, and I do anticipate this is going to happen, but we're going to wait till the right set of circumstances so that the court will be more inclined to give it to us. And then once that jury is brought, that grand jury is brought, they can be set for up to a year. So if you end up being called in for jury service, you can be on this jury for a year. But of course, you won't be sitting every day of every week. It would be as needed. You'd be required to come down to the courthouse and hear whatever information that the state was trying to pursue at that point in time. It would be a jury of 12 people,
okay,
with one or two alternates. And the way that the grand jury process works versus currently our regular jury is that in the grand jury, you don't have to have an unanimous finding. We don't call them verdicts, but it's a finding by the jury of the indictment. And so you would need 9 people to concur out of the 12 in that finding. Now, we discussed a little bit off air what that would mean if 3 people didn't concur, and I mentioned that should cause the prosecutor to take a little bit of pause and consider the strength of the case at that point. If you have 9 people in a grand jury who say you don't have 51% and your burden at trial is beyond a reasonable doubt, and it only takes one person then to say you don't have beyond a reasonable doubt, do you really have a strong case or not? So you can kind of use the grand jury as a gauge of how strong the case is, whether the community thinks that this particular charge should be pursued. And sometimes you do want community input. For instance, we look back at places like Ferguson, where there's the allegations the officers did things improperly, and the prosecutors there used a grand jury to ask the community whether or not they thought that the officers should be charged. And there's some debate about whether they should have done that or not and how they did that. But that would be maybe an incident where you would want community input of whether or not the prosecuting office should seek to move forward with charges.
Very interesting. All right. The time is 7:45. Time for our top 5 at 7:45 this morning, brought to you by First Education Federal Credit Union. And, Father's Day is right around the corner, and maybe you've already got it mastered and you know what kind of gift that you're going to get dear old dad. But what about the man that typically has everything already, right? Well, that's what we want to talk about today. Here are some unusual gift ideas for dear old dad, and they're actually kind of fun and might make for some pretty cool gifts. Dads are big value in all of our lives. Some dads succeeded and all no doubt have failed. But today is the day that we show our dads appreciation for being there. So if you have a hard to buy for dad, then here's some gift ideas that you might want to think about while there's still time. They're both unique and a bit rare. All right, number 5 this morning, personal infrared foot sauna. Your dad will feel less stress leaving his body when he slips his feet into this all-cedar beauty. Made of Canadian red cedar with low EMF heater, he will thank you and his feet will thank you as well. Number 4, how about the portable briefcase barbecue grill? Woo, yeah, for the grilling on the go guy. Your dad will never have to wait on those tasty kebabs again and be able to just open up the old briefcase and away he goes. Number 3, Wi-Fi and USB cufflinks for the James Bond man in your life. Now he can keep important information close to the cuff with this 2 gigabyte. They have it for Mac, Windows, and a lot of others. That's the Wi-Fi and USB cufflinks. No one will ever know what are holding his cuffs together. Number 2, here's a different one, the Himalayan salt barbecue plank. You can chill it as a platter for sushi or cheese or heat it up to cook your food. Again, that's the Himalayan salt barbecue plank. And for the number 1 this morning, well, you'll have to head out to KGAB.com and check it out. There's also hot links. So if you do want to get these, all you got to do is hit that hot link and it'll take you right to a place where you can actually order those online and hopefully in time for Father's Day. The top 5 at 7:45 is brought to you by First Education Federal Credit Union, and we check in at 7:45 weekdays, Monday through Friday. Again, more details on that at KGAB.com. Good morning.
This is the sound of E. coli splashing around in raw hamburger juice on your cutting board. And it looks like Mom just put the tomatoes and onions on there too. Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. So always separate raw meat from vegetables on 2 cutting boards. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
A world with less cancer is a world with more birthdays. Grab your friends and form a team to join the American Cancer Society Relay for Life, happening in Cheyenne June 26th at South High. Kickoff at 6 p.m. Visit relayforlife.org/Cheyenne WY.
Hi, everyone. We're talking with Frank Gerstenkorn, owner of Guns & Gear, 2110 Evans here in the capital city. And Frank, one of the services that Guns & Gear offers that we want to let people know about is firearm appraisals. Tell us about that.
JD, we do appraise firearms for folks here in town, and recently our appraisals have been accepted by a number of insurance companies, but also by the courts. The value of firearms often comes up, and when it does, we can handle those appraisals for people. We also appraise estate dispersals.
Frank, and from those firearm appraisals that you do, you also do consignments for those people as well, right?
We do, JD, and it makes it a lot easier for a widow, and in a lot of cases, that's what we encounter. If we just consign the firearms, take care of it, we comply with all state, federal, and local laws. They don't have to worry about a thing. They don't have to worry about strangers coming to their houses and looking at the guns. At the end of the day, we just write them a check.
And one of the many services at Guns & Gear, stop by and see them, 21st and Evans, Cheyenne.
Get your financial train on track with Dave Ramsey, Monday through Saturday at 8 on AM 650, KGAB, KGAB.com, and mobile with Radio Pub.
7:49, feeling fine in the sunshine here at in Cheyenne. Loving it, digging it this morning, and hopefully this will hold off for us a little bit. 55 is the current temperature, and don't forget that if you have to get to a place where you don't have a radio and you have an Apple or Android, you can always grab up a Radio Pup. Just download the free app, and you can take AM 650 on the go. You don't have to miss a minute of local news, sports, weather, opinion, or Doug Randall. That's right. You don't even have to miss out on Doug Randall. It's powered by Union Wireless. Again, just go out to your Google Play Store and head on out to Radio Pup. That's P-U-P, like puppy or Pup and Taco. And you can catch out all your favorite programs while you're at work. And if you have long hair, ladies, you can just put your little earphones in and cover your hair like my wife did back in school. And we'll leave that alone because we have Jeremiah Sandburg here with us, and he is the district attorney for Laramie County. Good morning.
Good morning. I don't know what to say after that.
Yeah, and there's no statute of limitations in Wyoming, so thank God she didn't do that in Wyoming. But anyway, we've been talking about a whole lot of stuff this morning about juries, grand juries. There are some people that have been accused of a crime that go back here in Laramie County and say, man, I wish I would have had a jury, and for different reasons. But there's something else that I wanted to bring up, and that is, and give us a little history on it. I think it's very interesting, as some politicians have said they want to bring about or bring back the common law grand jury. Tell us a little history on that, maybe why it went away and why it probably isn't coming back.
Well, I can't tell you why it went away. I can tell you when it went away here in Wyoming, and that appears to be of 1982, when the legislature passed our new statutory scheme for crimes, and they did away with the common law crimes. And in doing away with the common law crimes, they apparently did away with the common law grand jury. Now, as we've discussed before in previous programs, the difference between the common law and the statutory schemes that we have now, common law is what came to us from jolly old England back over 1,000 years ago. And it was just sort of the law that developed between the different towns. And it was common to all the different little towns and burbs around England specifically. And it was very useful, particularly at the beginning of this country, so that when you're out of the big cities and you're out moving west, and we were always moving west, there was some law, and we all knew what the law was because it was the common law that we all had from England. But as the cities developed, and particularly back on the East Coast, they started developing these statutory schemes, things that were crimes only because of the statute. Now, we still have the common law of crimes, which was, the big ones, murder, rape, burglary, those sort of things. But the statutory schemes with, you need a fire exit and stuff like this, or one-way streets and so forth, that all started on the East Coast and started to come in this direction. And over time, they felt it was necessary to put all crimes into statute. And when they did that, each state then did away with the common law of crimes. Wyoming did that in 1982. So we kept the common law of crimes for quite a while here in the state compared to other parts of the country. But even here in Wyoming, we've done away with that. And so we joke about in law school, the reason we study the common law in law schools now still, and the reason that the national bar exam is on the common law is because it's the only thing consistent between all 49 states is that none of us follow the common law anymore. And I say 49 because Louisiana is a French territory and they have a French legal system, so they don't have the English system that the other 49 have.
Wow, very interesting. So, are you basically saying that the common law grand jury maybe doesn't have a place now, or why would a politician say, "Hey, I want to bring this back" when running for office?
Well, and so there would. I mean, I'm not sure exactly how they would bring it back. Potentially, you could do a legislative change and allow for it that way. In a civil context, I'm not sure how that would work because I'm not a civil attorney. When people bring me civil questions, I say I'm the last person you should ask. I'm a criminal attorney. I can tell you in the criminal system that we did away with that back in '82. So if you want to do it in a criminal context, my gut feeling here is that you have to do a legislative change to do that. And as governor, of course, you can head up that change. If you want to do it in a civil context, talk to a civil expert. I'm not a civil expert.
And you don't play one on television.
Or the radio.
All right. We have Jeremiah Sandburg in with us. And, sir, we appreciate you taking your time, really, every month. This is a new feature here on the program since you've been elected. And I know a lot of people are really thrilled because you go into the history of the legal system, but it's not boring. You kind of bring up some cool stuff. And so we really appreciate that. Anything maybe we ought to be, maybe that has come to your office that we ought to be knowing about before we let you go today? Maybe I know you're still looking for volunteers.
Right.
Your website.
And we've got a great outpouring of volunteers. We got some of them up and running now, helping out the system now. The website is up. In fact, now we have both addresses direct to the same website. So LaramieCountyDA.com and LaramieCountyDistrictAttorney.com will take you to the website. So either way, you can find us. We're still adding to that as we have time. We're building it in-house too, so that we can save the taxpayers money. We're not sending it out to some big expensive firm. We're doing it ourselves.
Good. So you got your own people dealing with it then.
Exactly. So that's why it's a little slower being built maybe than if we paid somebody a bunch of money, but we feel it's a better use of the taxpayers' money to just learn how to do it ourselves and maintain it ourselves.
That's awesome. And so is your IT guy or whoever's working on this able to track the hits on it? Are you starting to get some hits on it now? And
I don't think we've added that feature yet, but I suppose we could.
Oh yeah. I'm sure, it just kind of gives you some good feedback on, the public going out there but it's pretty interactive too. What are a few of the features that we can find, like legal questions and like what if this happens, that type of stuff?
So at this point, primarily you have our contact information, our hours of operation, and then there's a form in there, a contact form. If you need to contact us or have a question, you can submit to it. I don't think we've got too many people doing that yet, but over time as those questions come in, if we see a sort of a pattern in those questions, we're anticipating a frequently asked question page that will answer those common questions that we get.
Now, I don't want to, bite off too much with one bite or expect, too much, but I would suspect a Facebook page, if it's not already out there, is on the way.
I'm not sure about the Facebook. We have to be real careful about that because you don't want someone who's been charged with a crime friending your Facebook. We get in trouble then with contacting our defendants. So we're still a little hesitant to go to Facebook.
So let's just keep it at the website and we'll go from there.
Exactly.
All right. Mr. District Attorney Jeremiah Sandburg, thank you again for coming on, and we'll hope to see you next month. We're getting real close to Frontier Days next time we see you. So
I suppose that's true.
I would imagine we'll see you with your pearl button, boot, and hat. So we'll see what happens. All right, very good. All right, your time is 7:56. Rush Limbaugh Morning Update is straight ahead. My name is Gary Freeman. Glad to have you with us on a beautiful Wednesday morning. It's Hump Day. I'll let you do the Humpty dance while we turn it over to Rushbo.